Coming up on AgweekTV, farmers are scrambling to replace grain storage in the aftermath of devastating June storms.
Whether it's bees or cattle, integrating livestock into the farm can help make ends meet.
We'll tell you about a new program to get kids growing.
And the mood is positive on the Minnesota Cattlemen summer tour. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. The devastating storms that swept through the region last month destroyed a lot of grain storage facilities. Many farmers are now scrambling to rebuild their grain storage before harvest. I met with Superior Grain Equipment in Kindred, North Dakota to discuss how the storm is impacting their business.
The phone started ringing at 5:30 that Saturday morning, and in all truth, haven't really stopped since.
Superior Grain Equipment has been busy at work since the June storms, working around the clock to fulfill farmers' orders of new grain storage. Josh Rouser, Superior Grain Equipment Vice President, says they have been doing all they can to help farmers be prepared for this harvest season.
And trying to be diligent on not over-promising and under-delivering. We've sucked in a tremendous amount of business so far this year, and I'm confident everything that we've committed to will be done probably by mid to late October is our hopes, which is, it's a task, but we're ready for it. We've had a few elevators reach out to us. A lot of the elevator stuff, though, is extremely specialized. It's certain size bins that are commercial grade, and there's a lot more to it. So most of those guys realize that it's a longer build process, I should say. Some guys might be functional. There'll be a lot of elevators that probably aren't.
With late season replanting happening after the storm and minimal grain storage in the areas hit hardest by the storm, Rouser anticipates a stressful harvest season.
You're replanting beans in mid-June. What do you think that's going to turn out to for a harvest, right? That's going to be a late harvest. It's going to be a stressful harvest. And then what do you do when you have a bean crop and nowhere to take it? Where a lot of these elevators are going to be full, whether they're out of storage or they've been cannibalized by all the guys that lost their storage in the local area. What are they going to do? So it's going to be stressful.
Rouser advises farmers to look into their insurance coverage and see what kind of coverage they have for their operation.
Make sure there's not a bunch of hoops that guys have to jump through. That is our biggest problem right now, is we've had half of our customers have been approved very quickly, very painlessly. And there's other guys that the insurance companies are trying to find every way to nickel and dime it. And it isn't right, and it's making those guys be left in the dark on getting projects done. So I would suggest make sure your insurance is up to date if you haven't.
Superior Grain Equipment has brought in additional people to help with demand. Farmers and ranchers are learning some new ways to improve their crops and their bottom line. Jenny Schlecht has more from NDSU's Field Days in this week's AgWeek cover story.
North Dakota State University Research Extension Centers kicked off their annual Field Days this week, looking at some real-world ways that their research can help on the farm and ranch.
So this is our last stop for the morning. This is a study we're looking at trying to incorporate livestock grazing into a soybean corn rotation.
Kevin Sedovic is director of NDSU's Central Grasslands Research Extension Center near Streator, North Dakota. A big focus on the research his team presented was on integrated livestock cropping systems. Sedovic says it can benefit both crops and livestock.
And the beauty is you make money in the livestock sector. And so we've shown that livestock grazing adds biology. Livestock grazing enhances our soil health. And at worst, it's neutral for grain production. And then some years we actually get better production.
But he's not just talking about cattle. Other living things like bees might help improve the bottom line. Bethany Robertson, a research specialist and entomologist, is doing research on the potential interactions and mutual benefits between pollinators and soybeans.
This is really important, firstly, to soybean growers because studies have been finding that having pollinators visit flowers in soybean fields can potentially increase yield and other factors like amount of seeds and pods, amount of pods, seed weight, and so on. It's also a really important food source for honeybees.
They're also studying whether integrating livestock into cover crops can help producers recover some costs of cover crops. NDSU has field days planned around the state throughout July. In Streator, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for AgWeek.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Up next on AgWeek TV, our annual cereals crop tour continues with a look at small grains in central South Dakota.
Hamilton System Inc. in Drayton, North Dakota is the North American distributor of the Fantini corn and sunflower header. Both the L03 corn head and the G03 sunflower head have a simple, high-efficiency, low-maintenance PTO-driven gearbox, which eliminates slippage and power loss even in the most trying conditions. These heads are built with a solid one-piece frame and tubular steel construction that will withstand the harshest field conditions. Available in models from 4 to 18 rows, they adapt to any combine and come with a 4-year warranty on the transmission units.
Farmers, the future of your operation starts today. Thinking about expanding? Grow smarter and store bigger with Brock Solid grain bins from Gateway Building Systems. With decades of expertise, we build custom storage solutions that increase capacity, boost efficiency, and maximize profits. More storage means more control over your success. Get your Brock Solid grain bins now. Give us a call or go online to gatewaybuilding.com.
Join Erickson Custom Operations and Severn Anderson for our annual crop tour at Anderson Farms near Drayton, North Dakota, Wednesday, July 30th at 10 a.m. See a drone spraying demonstration of nano yield and calcine products and see firsthand what returning your soils back to health can do for your crops. Can't make it? Check out one of our other 2025 crop tours. July 28th in Colgate, North Dakota, July 29th in Crookston, Minnesota and Cummings, North Dakota, and July 31st with a drone spraying demo in Davenport, North Dakota. Erickson Custom Operations Crop Tours. Join us in the field.
Whether you are a farmer moving a single piece, a contractor updating your fleet, or a large dealer needing to liquidate assets, Dagger Machinery will come to you and handle every step of the process.
Summer will be gone before you know it. And so will the best prices of the year at Lichty Homes. For 70 years, we've been building dreams for families in the upper Midwest. Join us as we celebrate our 70th anniversary with incredible prices on brand new 2025 homes during our summer sale. Don't miss out. Secure your dream home now and have it move-in ready by fall. Visit lichtyhomes.com or your nearest Lichty Home Sales Center and let us build your family's next chapter.
Our cereals tour continues this week in South Dakota. Ariana Schumacher traveled to the central part of the state to see how the spring wheat crop is doing.
The spring wheat in central South Dakota is looking better than the winter wheat crop.
Spring wheat has got off to a better start, I would say, just because we had the moisture there. We had a couple weeks of pretty decent moisture that changed the projection of our wheat crop.
Hot and dry conditions are coming into play when it comes to finishing out the spring wheat crop.
Just trying to get that wheat crop to finish and fill out well. So,
spring wheat looks pretty good when compared to previous years. As you get farther east of here, it looks even better.
But I'm hoping for a better spring wheat crop than what we're typically hearing.
As far as pests go, they saw more aphids this year.
Green bug aphids, bird cherry oat aphids. That was more of a late season issue that we saw. I mean, they were there throughout the growing season, but they really ramped up later as we were starting to get towards that T3 timing, heading flag leaf fungicide pass. So,
tan spot was an issue in both wheats, but a little more in the winter wheat.
Again, didn't really seem to be too bad in the spring wheat. Our canopies just weren't drying out. We had a lot of humidity, damp mornings. The canopy wasn't drying out enough. And then of course the fusarium forecast with the NDSU monitor showed really high risk, and so we were watching that as well. But yeah, it definitely started coming up the canopy late season.
Espelin said weeds were a big issue in some of the crops in central South Dakota this year after some late spring rains.
We kind of had a slow start with things being dry, but then of course it really ramped up with that rain and the heat turned on, and it's kind of been a battle. Actually, it wasn't too bad in the spring wheat just because of the timing and how everything came on, but there were some other crops that were pretty tricky.
While central South Dakota is typically hot and dry, Espelin said it is drier this year.
Usually we catch most of our rain on the front end, and then we're just hopeful for some timely rains in July and August. So,
Wheat growth timing isn't far behind previous years.
It's moving along, but it's not, I don't feel like it's getting rushed along. I guess some of this heat and wind we've had recently has maybe progressed it faster than we'd like, but overall I don't think it's been too terribly bad. Definitely could have used some more rain.
In Pierce, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
Farmers in central South Dakota recently started harvesting winter wheat, so Espelin said it will be 2 to 3 weeks before they start to harvest spring wheat in that area. The mood was positive at the annual Minnesota State Cattlemen's Association Summer Tour this week. Nearly 600 cattle producers took part in this year's tour near Little Falls. They got to see cow-calf operations, feedlots, a new deep pit slab barn, pasture production, and a pet food manufacturing plant. Caitlin Root, the association's executive director, says producers are happy with prices, but some producers are also grappling with other issues that come with the new territory, like much higher calf costs and finding calves to buy. Root says the strong attendance may be because producers feel comfortable enough about stepping away from the operation.
Everyone's in pretty great spirits right now, and they have been for the past couple of years, and we're hoping to hold on with prices, because obviously when you're making a profit on the work that you do every single day, you're gonna feel a lot better.
21 regional cattlemen's groups make up the Minnesota State Cattlemen's Association, and the tour is hosted by a different group each year. This year, the Mississippi Valley Cattlemen's Association hosted. The day ended with a steak dinner at the Morrison County Fairgrounds. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll see the latest research using sheep at NDSU.
As your farm evolves, so do the challenges that come with it. At Superior Grain Equipment, our systems are built to make your job easier and help your grain reach its full potential. From gentle drying to durable storage, get the flexibility to market your grain on your time. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
Hi, I'm Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring. Project Safe Send will be in your area in coming weeks. This is your chance to dispose of old, unusable, banned, or damaged pesticides. Please check your storage areas for pesticides that are no longer effective, safe, or legal to use. Contact us if you need bags to safely transport product to a collection site. Project Safe Send is simple and free. Be sure to visit nd.gov/NDDA for a list of dates, times, and locations.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
Whether you are a farmer moving a single piece, a contractor updating your fleet, or a large dealer needing to liquidate assets, Dagger Machinery will come to you and handle every step of the process.
AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
How is the weather faring as we head into the heart of growing season? Here's Lydia with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Latest drought monitor does show some improvements in our area.
The eastern part of the country looking okay, obviously very saturated in some spots. And then the western half of the country quite dry, especially in those desert climates, no surprise. As for locally, the tri-state area, we only have a couple spots that have even the severe drought, that orange color showing up about Roseau County toward Lake of the Woods, along and north of Highway 2 for North Dakota into northern Minnesota is where we find the majority of our dry conditions. And then about the I-90 corridor and down to the south into Nebraska for the South Dakota sections. I wanted to look at, though, as we're in the thick of growing season, how much of our crop is affected by drought conditions right now. And so I was able to break down the percent of each state's crop. We're starting off with corn here. Currently in North Dakota, 17% is under dry. You've got all your different levels of drought across the top. You can call it 1 through 5. A level 1 layer of drought, about 17% in North Dakota, 31% in South Dakota, and 6% in Minnesota. So we still have very dry conditions. But then I thought it was interesting to look back just 2 months ago. That's your numbers in red here. And just see how big of a difference. We've had some super soakers, some beneficial periodic rain, and so we've really seen a reversal in these numbers. Just 2 months ago, 97% of South Dakota's corn was under a level 1 drought. We can do the same for soybeans. Currently 32% under a level 1 drought in North Dakota, 10% in a level 2 drought, 30% in South Dakota, and 15% for that level 1 drought specifically for soybeans in South Dakota and in Minnesota. And then we look 2 months ago, and once again, 97% of soybeans were under drought conditions. There was a point earlier this spring where the entire state of South Dakota was dealing with some level of drought. And then for sugar beets, specifically looking at North Dakota and Minnesota, South Dakota doesn't grow sugar beets, still about 70% of the crop dealing with a level 1 area of drought. Again, that is further up to the north, where I just showed you the drought monitor north of Highway 2. For Minnesota, at one point, 99%, that was back on May 20th, of the sugar beets were under at least some layer of drought. And we've seen a large improvement. I do have a wet pattern setting up too. Almost a storm pattern. I see the jet stream sitting with us here as we go throughout the next couple of weeks. And that brings in layers of thunderstorms, one after another, which can, of course, lead to beneficial rain, but can also lead to hail and damaging winds this time of year. This pattern does continue into the following week, too. This now takes us to the very end of July, where I see more moisture moving in kind of from the northwest down to the southeast. We will have to watch out for any sort of a derecho setup as we're at that time of year. Big heat dome develops in the middle of the country. I do see, especially around the Corn Belt, Iowa toward Indiana, that's where we're watching out for very hot weather. We start warming up in the northern plains into next week, and we do so especially as we wrap up the month of July.
Farming is more than just a job. It's a way of life. It's your hard work, your investment, your future. At Superior Grain Equipment, we're here to protect it all. From durable grain storage to gentle drying and handling solutions. We build systems designed to last, and we stand by you with service and support every step of the way. Superior Grain Equipment, proven solutions to help you grow.
Hi, I'm Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring. Project Safe Send will be in your area in coming weeks. This is your chance to dispose of old, unusable, banned, or damaged pesticides. Please check your storage areas for pesticides that are no longer effective, safe, or legal to use. Contact us if you need bags to safely transport product to a collection site. Project Safe Send is simple and free. Be sure to visit nd.gov/NDDA for a list of dates, times, and locations.
Hamilton System Inc. in Drayton, North Dakota is the North American distributor of the Fantini corn and sunflower header. Both the L03 corn head and the G03 sunflower head have a simple, high-efficiency, low-maintenance PTO-driven gearbox, which eliminates slippage and power loss even in the most trying conditions. These heads are built with a solid one-piece frame and tubular steel construction that will withstand the harshest field conditions. Available in models from 4 to 18 rows, they adapt to any combine and come with a 4-year warranty on the transmission units.
The Crary Revolution Ditcher is the new standard for surface water management. The Revolution Ditcher leaves a smooth finish 5-foot flat bottom cut and cuts up to 10 inches in one pass. Throw dirt in either direction, up to 165 feet. Now with the hydraulic cross auger to break up dirt and keep you working faster. Check out the Revolution Ditcher at crary.com.
At Maddock Ranch Supply, we believe in authenticity.
which is why we only sell products we use and those we trust. From fencing to animal health products to the meat we raise on our very own ranch. We're there at every step of the process because we understand how a little help can go a long way in the ranching community. Visit MaddockRanchSupply.com to learn how we can help you make more money on your farm and ranch.
Sheep are being integrated into their grain production systems at the South Dakota State University West River Research Farm near Sturgis, South Dakota. Ariana Schumacher takes us to the farm for a closer look at what they hope to achieve.
Here at the West River Research Farm, sheep are working away at the 15-acre section of land that has been transitioned to organic farming.
We grow a forage crop over the winter and summer or early summer, and then we bring in the sheep and they graze the forages. And then next fall, we will plant winter wheat behind that grazing. So it's a kind of a mixed forage and grain-based system.
The sheep control weeds and their manure works as a fertilizer.
In an organic system, we don't have herbicides to rely upon. And so they do a great job of cleaning up all the weeds.
One other part of the study has to do with virtual fencing. Each sheep is wearing a collar that's connected to an app on Graham's phone. This allows him to create an invisible fence line and be able to move that line whenever he wants the sheep to graze a different portion of the field.
They have a buffer zone within this fence, and so as they get closer and closer to the invisible fence perimeter, it gives a tone, and then finally gives them a shock when they get closer.
Since this is a research farm, they have added an electric fence along with the virtual fencing. This is just to ensure that the sheep stay where they're supposed to.
That's our insurance policy, and so we have a lot of other research on the farm, and we don't want it to be eaten.
Graham says there's a growing interest in the invisible fencing system, but there are still some issues that need to be worked out.
One of the issues is connectivity, and so they run on cell towers, and so they can lose signal when you're going these rolling hills and things and go down in the valleys. So that's an issue.
Having the collars is an added cost for the producer, but Graham says there's still a lot of benefit and opportunity for virtual fencing.
I think the biggest thing that we have heard is that it's the productivity measures are still kind of a bit unclear, but where it does seem to be really useful is in the infrastructure part.
In Sturgis, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
Graham says the main weed they are using the sheep to control is prickly lettuce, which is a common weed found when transitioning grassland to farmland. Ahead on AgweekTV, there's excitement in the air over these plants in the ground.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brent does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of Brent products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Hi, I'm Agriculture Commissioner Doug Goring. Project Safe Send will be in your area in coming weeks. This is your chance to dispose of old, unusable, banned, or damaged pesticides. Please check your storage areas for pesticides that are no longer effective, safe, or legal to use. Contact us if you need bags to safely transport product to a collection site. Project Safe Send is simple and free. Be sure to visit nd.gov/NDDA for a list of dates, times, and locations.
At Vatterstad, we're partnering with North American farmers to create the perfect emergence. We're doing this with new and innovative tillage, planting, and seeding solutions, optimized for the field conditions that you face, and with industry-leading capacities to help you get the job done in short windows of time, so you can maximize yields. Vatterstad, we look forward to growing together.
Farmers, the future of your operation starts today. Thinking about expanding? Grow smarter and store bigger with Brock Solid Grain Bins from Gateway Building Systems. With decades of expertise, we build custom storage solutions that increase capacity, boost efficiency, and maximize profits. More storage means more control over your success. Get your Brock Solid Grain Bins now. Give us a call or go online to gatewaybuilding.com.
Kids across North Dakota are learning what it takes to grow their own food this summer. It's thanks to a new program sponsored by the state's Department of Ag and Public Instruction. As Rose Dunn reports, the Farm to School program gives child care center grants to help them get growing.
We always care for our farm.
Their farm may be small, but it's teaching these kids some very big lessons.
The beans go down farther.
Jasmine Childcare and Preschool in Fargo is one of 35 centers around the state that received a $400 grant to set up a garden this summer.
We want our kids to learn healthy eating, and so the best way is to teach them through gardening, where they get to see the seed planted in the dirt, watering, taking care of it, realizing that it takes time for the plant to grow, and then at the end of the season, they get to harvest and taste it.
These ones are onions, these ones, and then these ones are tomatoes.
Did you plant any of them?
Yeah. I planted that one. I planted that one.
Jasmine has had a garden for several years, but this grant allowed them to expand it and build these garden boxes. Director Rhoda Elmy says the kids love trying new foods they've grown themselves.
The other thing that we did is invite the families, let the families get involved and know more about what we have here and how they can benefit. It's cheap, nutritious.
Where's the rosemary?
I know. Rosemary?
You know which one?
That one?
That one, yeah.
This is the first year of the Garden Grant program, but it's part of the Farm to School program that started in 2022.
We typically think there's 3 things that make up a good Farm to School program, but you don't have to be doing all 3 in order to be considered doing Farm to School. So that's education, gardening, and local food purchases.
Not only does the program aim to teach kids where their food comes from and improve their nutrition, but maybe turn them into lifelong gardeners as well.
And I found a bug.
In Fargo, this is Rose Dunn for AgWeek.
The program also provides some educational materials for the kids with the help of NDSU Extension. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. FarmFest organizers and participants remember the legacy of Marlon Buss, who died earlier this month. And extension experts say it's too late to replant cash crops, but getting some cover crops on drought areas could improve conditions for the next season. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.